Get lifetime access to all 13 plus Andrew Tate courses.
There are a whole bunch of things in the world which are actually very difficult to take.
Like?
And property is not one of them.
Yeah.
There's other things.
Like?
One is people not knowing you own things.
Yeah.
Protecting the fact that you even own it. Which is
shut people like me up asking about it on podcasts.
Well, exactly. That's the first. That's the answer, right? One is protecting the fact that you own it. I mean, I don't know about your particular scenario, but in Florida, in America, in California and in Canada, they were piercing LLCs. They're piercing LLCs to see who owns the LLC to seize the property. So once again, the law says if it's owned by a company that they can't take it or they can't see who owns the property in the company. Yes, they fucking can. Piss them off.
Yeah.
If you piss them off, they'll throw all the rules out the window. The same reason they're gonna kill me. Murder's bad, but they throw the rules out the window when you annoy them. So this is my exact point. So I just personally could never sleep at night knowing, oh, I got 100 million in property, I'm good. Because I'd be like, I don't have anything. I have to be quiet and I have to be careful. If they don't like me, they'll get me. That to me doesn't feel like ownership. Ownership is they can't take that off. That's true ownership. So you don't own property. It's a scam. It's a lie.
I enjoyed that discussion.
I'm not saying you can't make a bunch of money from it. I'm not even saying that. I'm just, it's just.
You're more talking about people who don't have a lot of disposable, tying a noose around their head of owning their own home.
Correct. And then being in a position where they might lose it anyway if they don't completely live their life as a slave and pay every fucking parking ticket.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I mean, because how do they really enforce parking tickets? Let me give you a quick story. I bought an Aston Martin DBS 3 months ago. I pulled up outside the hotel. I bought it in London. I pulled up at the hotel. I parked in the double yellow. I left it there. Traffic warden was right there. So I'm going to give you a ticket. And I said, bro, have you ever seen James Bond look for parking? Give me a fucking ticket. Don't care. Put a ticket on it. Went in the hotel. Stayed in the hotel come on, I'm busy. Stayed in the hotel for 4 days. Ticket. It came out to a window. It was on my Instagram before they deleted it. A window of tickets. Now, how do they enforce those tickets? Well, we said they'll take your home off you, right? I don't own anything. I don't even own that car. And the car's not in the country anymore. It's sitting in my house in Bulgaria. So now what the fuck are you gonna do? So I got thousands of pounds of parking tickets, and guess what happened? Nothing. Zero. Because I don't play by the stupid rules the Matrix tells me to play by. If I was Joe Schmo and I ignored them, I would lose my home. But me, I could turn up, tell them to get fucked, and do whatever I want. And what you'll actually learn is that much like parking tickets, pretty much all laws on Earth and all rules on Earth have there's an economic level to which you must adhere, and there's an economic level to which you don't have to adhere. Anything that's financial in and of itself is basically saying it's okay for rich people to do anyway. Let's say I agreed to pay the fine. Cool. I didn't have to look for parking. I paid $3 grand. That's worth 5 minutes of my time. So it's basically saying it's okay for a price. So it's okay for rich people. It's not okay for poor people. Whenever there's a fine as a punishment, they're basically saying no poors, no brokies, or rich people can do it. Look at banks. They make billions of dollars breaking the rules and pay $1 million fine. It's okay for the rich. Not allowed to do it with the poor. If you do that, if you pull off some fraud as a brokey, guess what happens? Jail time. Do the bankers go to jail? Fucking never. This is the whole way the whole entire world works. So, extrapolating that out, yes, at a certain economic level, there are things you can do and Aikido you can pull that make property fantastic. But as a brokey, it's bullshit. That's the point I'm making.
Is the gender pay gap real?
No.
Why not?
Because women choose jobs which are generally lower paying, because they choose jobs they're more passionate about and interested in. And funnily enough, when you're interested in a job, it's probably not as hard as a job you're not interested in. If you're only going to do things you're interested in, they're going to be entertaining, and if they're entertaining, they're not going to pay you very much. I believe if the gender pay gap was real in the world we currently live in, as competitive as it is, there would be companies which only hire women, because it would save a whole bunch of money. And you don't get that. I've seen this subject argued at length. I haven't had a job in so many years, I don't know. I know that if you ask the average woman, they certainly do believe in the gender pay gap, but my views are that one, women choose jobs they're more passionate about, which tend to be lower paying, because you only pay somebody a bunch of money because they're doing something they basically don't want to do. That's the first thing. I believe that, like I said, if a company wanted to be competitive, it would only hire women. And I also believe that there's a lot of legislation that protects and makes sure that people are treated pretty fairly. And I don't think that women give up their whole lives for a job like a lot of men do. I think the reason a lot of men are CEOs is one, because yes, there's an argument that men have an evolutionary instinct to lead and perhaps are better predispositioned to lead because we're more emotionally stable. There is that argument. But truthfully, I know men like me who give up our entire lives to work. All we do is work. If we're awake, we work. It's all we do. I don't know a single woman like that. She sees the kids, she sees her friends. They're more emotionally rounded than us. They're more stable than us. They're probably a lot fucking happier. And they don't want to give up their entire existence to work. Why should they? I don't blame them, but that means they're not competitive. So if you're a company and you're trying to choose the best possible worker and you have a man who gives up his entire life to work and you have a woman who's had a few kids, wants to see her kids, do the school run, bake cakes, then she can't compete. So I don't think it's about gender. I think it's just about the amount of time invested in doing the actual job.
Could you argue, for example, professional football, like women and men, they might put similar time in? Why is there such a disparity there with what they earn?
I can absolutely argue that.
Yeah.
Do you know why women footballers get paid so little?
No.
I'll tell you why.
Well, I'm asking you. I'm not being interviewed.
I'll tell you why. Because women don't fucking support them. Male footballers get paid so much because men go and watch the male football. Women footballers get paid so little because women don't go and watch it. So blame the other chicks. That is a female problem. It's nothing to do with us. The reason that female footballers or female sports stars get paid less than male sports stars is because nobody wants to fucking watch. Because nobody cares. Now, it's not women who are supporting the male sports stars, it's men. So if your own gender has betrayed you, don't turn at us and say we were the problem. Don't turn to the patriarchy. No, it's not the patriarchy. It's your fellow females who have zero interest in watching you run around and kick a ball in the net. That's why nobody pays you anything, because nobody wants to fucking see it. Call it supply and demand. If nobody wants to watch it, nobody's gonna fucking pay for it. So my argument there is very, very simple. No, the gender pay gap could not be applied to sports, because females have betrayed their own gender absolutely. So to sit there and try and blame men is asinine.
So are you saying if there was equal support, there'd be equal demand, and as there would be equal demand, there would be equal pay?
There'd be equal TV rights, there'd be equal gate sales,
Sponsorships.
equal sponsorships, equal ticket sales, equal merchandise, equal everything. How can it be equal when nobody buys shit related? What kind of stupid mindset is that? And this is what I'll say, gender pay gap, I play football, but nobody watches you play football. That's like me playing guitar in a room by myself and asking why I'm not paid the same as Bruce Springsteen. Because nobody comes to my concerts. I'm on my own. I'm sitting there staring at a wall like a dummy. If you're gonna go kick a ball around and nobody wants to see it, then don't complain when nobody wants to pay you. Nobody wants to see it. Not my fault nobody wants to see it. I don't want to see it. Do you want to see it? Tell the truth. How many female football games have you watched in the last 6 months? Tell the truth.
The Euro Cup final, that's it. And England won that, so one.
Okay, one. Not bad.
But yeah.
Well, me, it's a firm fucking zero. And for most, it's a firm zero. Tough luck. That's life. However, let's flip it before I get called a misogynist. If you were to have a beauty pageant, the women get paid more than the men. Does anyone ever complain about that? No. But more men.
Top 10 OnlyFans earners are all women.
All women. So there's a whole bunch of industries where women can dominate. And there's a huge gender pay gap. Nobody complains about that. They only complain when it's the other way around. So they ignore half the argument, create a false paradigm, live inside the matrix, slave mind, ignore the truth. But the truth is there's places where women get paid so much more than men. And we don't complain about it because people want to see the women. But if people want to see the men, that's basic economics. Anybody who cannot possibly understand that is a lost soul.
Have you ever taken steroids?
Good question. And I want to say this on camera adamantly. And I want to say this straight to camera because if anyone ever finds out I'm lying, they'll crucify me. So that's why I'm going to say it this way. I swear on the memory of my father, I have never once in my life ever taken a steroid. Ever. Not now, not ever. I'm not on TRT. I'm not on any kind of pills. I do not take creatine. I do not even drink protein shakes. I'm on 0 steroids. Perhaps I'm genetically gifted. Perhaps I'm God's favorite. But I'm in fantastic shape. I smoke cigars. I eat meat. I drink a lot of coffee. And I do train every day, of course, as long as I'm supposed to, but I have never taken steroids, ever, ever. And even when they're talking about me fighting Logan Paul, he's a massive steroid head. I have that from inside information. People close to him have told me he's on lots of steroids. He'd have to piss in a cup before I consider destroying him because he takes loads of steroids. If I took steroids, I'd be an